Thank you for tuning in. We will be reading to learn using the SQ3R method today. In this presentation, we will cover what the SQ3R method is, benefits of the SQ3R method, and lastly, we will practice this method. What is the SQ3R method? It is a reading method used to increase comprehension and mastery of the content that is read. S stands for survey, Q is to question, the first R stands for read, the second R is to recite the material, the third and last R stands for review. In the following slides, we will dig into what each step of this process really is. Survey. You can think of this step as previewing what you will read. This allows you to already know something about what you are reading and to work to build upon it. We learn better when we have a base of understanding that we can add upon. So look over all titles, headings, subheadings, and captions of all charts, tables, pictures, etc., and predict what we covered using context clues. Your predictions don't need to be right, but they will assist in the learning process by getting you as the reader ready to think critically about the material that you will be reading. Next, we will create questions using each heading and subheading. By rephrasing these, we should be able to answer the who, what, when, where, why, and how, and we can do this by rephrasing it as a question, which will allow you as the reader to focus your reading on a goal to seek the answer to the questions that you will create in this step. Next, we will read the text with the questions that you created in mind. In this step, you should connect what you read to the questions and headings that you surveyed in previous steps. This connects what you are reading to what you already know, which is building upon your foundation of knowledge and thus making it easier for you to comprehend material much more swiftly. Next, we're going to recite. This is a step that is really good for the check-in and should be done after reading a page or two. You should go back and without rereading the material, re-explain the material to yourself in your own words. Feel free to utilize the questions that you made before. This is a great time to write notes because it will encourage you to write down the main concepts now that you have a better grasp of what the main concepts are, instead of attempting to write down every bit of information. Repeat the reading and reciting steps until you have completely read the material. Lastly, you should review what you have read. This will involve skimming the material and taking another note of major topics, key points, or things that you should remember. Feel free to use highlighters, symbols, or other indicators that this is an important topic or a major point. If you have completed your reading prior to class, which is highly encouraged and recommended, you can additionally use the lecture as a review of the material if your professor is lecturing along the chapters or passages in the text. So what are the benefits of the SQ3R method? It increases general comprehension of material read, and with practice can actually decrease time spent reading by increasing efficiency in reading and limiting the need to reread passages. It also gives us a greater understanding of facts and how concepts connect together, which is further promoted in the recite and review steps of this method. Now it's time to practice. You can either use the article Bluff Shelters of the Arkansas Ozarks, which is linked below, or choose a current events article with headlines to practice on. Feel free to pause this video while you practice. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you learned more about how you can increase your efficiency and comprehension while reading with the SQ3R method today. And remember that it will take some practice to get used to. If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to email us at ozark.studentsuccess@atu.edu.